What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Josh Mason here. A lot of people ask me about ayahuasca. They ask me about what is it like? What is it like to do it? What is it like to be in the jungle? And I want to talk to you about what it's like from my experience, okay? So, ayahuasca is the kapi vine, okay, and the chacruna leaves, okay? The kapi vine contains the kapi vine is an MAOI inhibitor, which allows the chacruna leaves, which contain DMT, to cross the blood-brain barrier. Okay, so out of all the species of plants in the Amazon jungle, 2 species of plants combined together create this unbelievably powerful hallucinogenic effect. And scientists say that, statistically speaking, it's literally a near impossibility for human beings to have found out about these 2 specific plants, just with how many different species there are in the Amazon. So it would have just been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of experimentation in order for that to happen. So anyway, the true setting of an ayahuasca ceremony is in a maloca, okay? And it's in the Amazon jungle in a maloca. Maloca is like a wooden casa, a wooden house. And ayahuasca in its most sacred form is done under the supervision of shamans, Shipibo shamans, maestros, maestras, okay? And they hold the space for the medicine to come in and work on people. They also facilitate. They put their own energy and their own will into moving energy for an individual, and they're basically a guide. They're like, you're going through your experience, and they take their lantern, and you're at a fork in the road, and they're like 2 miles down the road on one end, on one side of the fork, saying, "Hey, come here, come this way, don't go the other way. That way is not good for you." And you can, of course, choose to go the other way if you want, but they're kind of there as your guide, because for most people, these waters are going to be uncharted waters of your psyche, waters that you have no idea how to manage or how to swim or how to row in. Okay, so a lot of people do ayahuasca in the States and in different settings. I've never done it in the States. I don't think I ever would unless I really found a shaman that I trusted. But the true sacred, pure way of doing it is in the jungle, because the jungle is half the medicine. See, when you get there in that jungle, there's so much noise, okay? I'll play some right now, what it's like. There's so much noise, monkeys and crickets and birds, and all of this noise is so intense, it's overwhelming, it's so stimulating. I was a very anxious and scared individual during my illness, so the jungle was scary for me. My girlfriend at the time thought it was the most relaxing sounds in the world, and she fell asleep to it within seconds. So, it's different for every person. For me, the jungle was terrifying. But yeah, so I'll start with the jungle, and then I'll move into the ayahuasca. What is it like, right? Well, the jungle is super intense. There's animals everywhere. If you're in a deep jungle, you'll be noticing snakes. Every few days, you'll maybe catch a glimpse of a snake. There are jaguars. When I was in the jungle, there was a couple dead horses. The horses were, I think they were completely missing, or I forget exactly what happened. Yeah, the horses were gone, basically. Baby horses were just gone. And the only explanation was jaguars. So the jungle's intense. You sleep if you're sleeping in a traditional hut, you're sleeping with cockroaches, with ants, with mice. I had mice I had a mice nest underneath my bed. I didn't even do anything about it. Not a nest, but the mice had 7 babies right underneath my bed, within literally 6 inches from my torso were mice that were sleeping. And eventually I had to kick them out because the little mice were making so much noise. They were kicking around. They were literally in my mattress. They created a nest in my mattress. Okay, cockroaches this big, just crawling across you at night. At a certain point, you just learn to just deal with it. If you freak out, you'll just be stressed the whole time. And, it's like a dream. The jungle is like a dream. It's nothing like this reality. It's nothing like anything we've seen here. So you feel like you're on a distant planet. And of course, if you're not connected to the internet, you just feel like you're in a whole different universe, a whole different world. And all of your shit starts coming to the surface. All of the anxieties that are underneath, the depression, the anxieties, the sadness, the mental gymnastics. That we a lot of times we use our common culture to avoid seeing that shit, or that shit is twisted up in common culture within technology to the point where it's always externalized. We never actually understand that it's us and our story that's doing that. Not, we always think it's about something external, some external story. So your shit just starts coming up, okay? And it's very humid, it's very hot, you sweat a lot, you detox a lot, the air is incredibly ionized, okay, because of all the plants, so ionized that you just start detoxing there in the jungle. And so let's move to what it's like drinking ayahuasca, Well, ayahuasca, their ceremonies are done at night traditionally. So the day of, you want to fast a little bit, and then, and I'm saying you, just as for the sake of the story, but this is my experience. But, so I'm making it more relatable if I say you're, you can pretend you're there. So, it's 7 o'clock at night is when the ceremonies start, 7, 8, 9, that day there's just those jitters, you're about to face your own shit. You're about to go deep into yourself. And everyone goes into the maloka, everyone's quiet, everyone's nervous, it's big anticipation. And you go around and each person drinks the cup of medicine around, starting from one end of the circle all the way around. You set intentions, you drink your cup of medicine. Where I was, there was a small and a medium and a large, 3 different sizes. Okay? And everyone goes back to their mats. The ayahuasca tastes terrible, okay? Terrible. It's just this, it tastes a little bit like vomit. And it's just instantly creates a gag reflex. And it instantly invokes, when you've done it multiple times, it instantly invokes the power of the medicine. And then you're sitting and they blow the candles out. And now it's relatively dark depending on the moon cycle. Some ceremonies it's well lit in there from the moon. Some ceremonies it's pitch black. And just the jungle gets louder and louder and louder and louder and louder until it's so overwhelming. And different people go to different places now. Now is when it's totally unique experience. For me, I always went to the same place. There's a dark, deep, dark demon cave that I always went to. I just had to go there every single ceremony. And I knew, for me, I didn't drink ayahuasca to enjoy myself. I drank ayahuasca because I was like, the only way that I'm making it out of this nightmare is to go through it. And ayahuasca brought me into it every time. So I was like, all right, bring it on. I got to go to war. And, 40 minutes into it, you start feeling a little funky, a little woozy. And then the Icaros start. The shamans start singing their Icaros. Different songs that they play, that they sing from a deep, deep, multi-generational place. The plants have taught them the words and instilled in them the essence of that plant. And they call in plant spirits, and if you have your vision open, you can see the plant spirits and all kinds of doctors coming into the room. The Huayna Caspi doctor and the Yerba Luisa and Mapacho and all different spirits coming in with their tools working on people. It's like little energetic surgery surgeons. And the experience can change. It goes up and down and up and down, left and right, and you're in different places. Some people have visions, some people have auditory hallucinations, and people are purging, massive purges, vomiting, that the shamans are always fishing it out of you. It's like the shaman will come over, and the shaman comes over and they sit down, a few feet away from you in Indian style, and they start singing. They start with their whistling, they start with their singing, and as they're singing to you, they're literally siphoning, fishing out this dark energy out of you. By the end of the song, it's all the way up here. By the end of the song, vomiting everywhere. They siphon it out both ways. Sometimes they siphon it down, and they're controlling this energy, and for you to take a dump. And it's not always in their control. Sometimes the medicine is just making you purge anyway, but a lot of times I would see it in myself. They would just bring it out of me. And yeah, the shamans are magical, totally magical. And it's deep work, very intense. Okay, very intense. Sorry, my camera died. So ayahuasca is very intense. I'm not necessarily a full 100% advocate for the medicine. I'm sharing you the beauty and the intensity of the medicine here. I'm not saying everyone should go do it. But anyway, so the shamans, they all have their different flavor. There's shamans with huge hearts. There's shamans that are like little surgeons that cut into you. There's shamans that show you your animal instinct. There's shamans that play games with you. They all have their little unique different flavor in the way of operating and teaching you. And different people get along with different shamans. And the shamans are plugged into a totally different space than a Westerner. Their consciousness is resting on something completely different. It's like two different species on the same planet. They don't think the way we think. That's why there needs to be bridges, allowing people to, because the shamans don't understand the Western world fully, and Western world don't understand the shamans. So there needs to be a little bit of a bridge, a bridging of the gap, because shamans don't understand life and bills and stuff like that. They're totally foreign to that. And most of them don't really understand like the level of neuroses that most Westerners are dealing with. They understand it from one perspective, but not from another. So anyway, the ceremony goes on, and different things can stir up different things for other people. The people around you are always part of the ceremony. Whoever's next to you, other people's purges are connected to your purges, and it's this grand rocket ship, this community rocket ship that's going up in the air. It's your own individual experience, and it's also a community experience where the Maloka is like a rocket ship going off, blasting off. And and towards the end of the ceremony, it starts winding down, and everyone was in a different space, and it starts winding down, and it comes to a close. And you get your tea, you get a little piece of fruit or some type of snack, and just your consciousness is just cracked open, and the jungle is alive. And if you're clean enough, and if you're connected enough, and if the medicine is helping you and you're helping yourself, you can feel like an avatar, especially in the jungle. I mean, I feel that a lot of times now. I feel that myself, like I'm literally an avatar, like I'm just temporarily in this body. I feel like that all the time, actually. But in the jungle, it's 10 times more intense. You literally feel like the big blue guy in Avatar walking around the jungle, like, holy shit, the one thing that medicine did is brought me in awe with all of my body parts and my hair. And I can't believe I have this hair and these eyes and these hands, and holy shit, it's so crazy. It's so crazy, this body. So yeah, that's ayahuasca in a nutshell. That's it's a really positive spin. I could make you more scared of it if I wanted to. I have different videos where I talk about it, but for whatever reason, ayahuasca is just coming to me these past few weeks, just coming to me on a regular basis. I want to start making videos about it. I can't explain it. The medicine is just coming to me. I have a very, very deep relationship with the medicine, and haven't used it in a couple of years. But for whatever reason, she just keeps coming back. Madre Ayahuasca, they call it Mother Ayahuasca. So yeah, that's it for now. That's just ayahuasca in a nutshell, and more stories to come. All right, guys, peace.